So, some more tragedy. If it bleeds, it leads. But I feel like this one will get a lot less views. Even though health problems, medical problems, the flu, medical errors, these kill so many more people than gun deaths, car accidents, suicides. So these are worse problems. We need to address gun violence, but, you know, the facts and the data matters, right? So look at the whole picture. Just because it's not sexy when old people, you know, kill themselves, I guess that's sexier than them just, you know, dying, drifting off, you know, into the Netherlands because of some medical error. Ferndale, this is in Washington State, 8:23 a.m., 6500 block, Timoran Lane. So 8:23 a.m. Dude calls 911, says, I'm going to shoot myself. He said he left a note with info and instructions. We will be in the front bedroom. Then he hangs up. And of course, 911 is like, tell us more! Tell us more! They're going to treat it like an active shooter drill. They take 15 minutes in order to actually, you know, get to Ferndale. Ferndale's 100 miles north of Seattle near the Canadian border. Whatcom County, Washington State, home of Rambo, right, in that Washington State. Says today, August 9th, 2019, Friday, this morning, 8:23 a.m., for whatever reason, this guy, Brian S. Jones, killed Patricia Whitney Jones. Brian S. Jones is 77. Patricia Whitney Jones is 76. Because you know why not? We've had all this other tragedy, so shit. When it rains, it pours. Just keep on piling dead bodies upon all the problems of America. So, Whatcom, WHATCOM, maybe that's what it was. They lived in a county they couldn't, you know, really pronounce. Whatcom? What the fuck's a Whatcom? What's a butt for? I don't know. Why are you asking me these questions? I just wanted to know where you live. Ferndale. Whatcom? Where's com? Whatcom? These damn flies. Fuck. Or maybe it's a damn mosquito. I used to think there wasn't no mosquitoes in Colorado. So this is in Washington State, though. So this is in Jay Inslee State. This is a liberal marijuana state. So they have, you know, marijuana. They could have smoked a joint and chillaxed, you know, instead of going straight for murder-suicide. You know, you can't spell murder-suicide without you and I. Which, you know, depending on how this thing actually, I look at their pictures and they look happy. They look very happy together, like they're almost natural. You know, almost as if like this is, you know, is this Romeo and Juliet kind of shit. So if it's merciful, it's hard to be mad, but it, you know, my gut instinct is essentially, you know, fuck that guy. He convinced her, or, you know, essentially made the decision. I don't know why the suicidal people always feel like it's the only option that they got. We needed BernieCare yesterday. If we had BernieCare, this wouldn't have happened. They got a public option, right? Jay Inslee said they got a public option, so you could buy into it. You know, you could sign up for it, sign into it, fill out the paperwork, and then after a couple months, you might be able to, if you got to pick the exchanges with the private insurance, because they got to, you know, get a piece of the pie. So the private insurance, just BernieCare, fucking easy, simple, BernieCare. Just get some fucking BernieCare. Single payer, government insurance, everybody's covered. Bam. Now this shit never happens again. What? You got too many health bills? Brian S. Jones, Patricia Whitney Jones? No, you don't. This is America, and you're Americans. So you're not going to have to kill each other or kill yourselves or do a murder-suicide. Whatever the fuck happened between these two. You don't have to do that. We're Americans, so we're gonna, here's free fucking health care because we give a shit about your life. We give a shit about your life, so we're not gonna let you die in a ditch like you ain't shit. We ain't gonna let you die by, some either selfish man fucking shooting you or because you asked him to. Die because he was merciful and said, fuck, well, we have no other options. We have no other choice. They could have moved to Canada. Canada would have taken care of him. Going to the United Kingdom, they really needed to talk to somebody because it's very selfish what they did. If it's her, I'm inclined to believe it's him. He's to blame. He convinced her. He got her to that point, and then he's the one that's going to shoot her. So, why the fuck did that happen? Maybe that's all goddamn, maybe he shot her beforehand because there was an argument, and he's making it look like it's about medical bills. They did have some disease or some shit. They got diabetes or cancer or some bullshit. They found notes. I mean, there's only one person that's putting their name on basically the information. Bill Elfo, the Whatcom County Sheriff Bill Elfo. So a bunch of faceless, nameless Nazi stormtroopers found some notes that noted the outrageous medical bills, and the faceless, nameless Nazi stormtroopers were the ones that took the phone call, tried to hold on to them. They used a megaphone. They kept calling the house over and over again. It's probably when he shot, either himself or her, because the phone kept ringing, kept startling them. He told 911 he was driven to do so because he couldn't pay for her serious medical ailments. So it was her, it was her medical thing. So, like I said, I'm inclined to believe, what the fuck, it's not. They're lying side by side, so he could have shot her, over an argument, and then, this whole thing's a ruse, and then just say it's because of the medical bills, and then, lied next to her. And it said he had 3 wounds. She had 1 bullet hole into her head, and then he had 3 bullet holes into him, but 1 into his head. He had a semi-automatic handgun. So, what? Boom, 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 or something? What did he do? Boom, boom, boom. Like, I don't understand how he had 3 wounds, gunshot wounds, only 1 in the head. So, he shot himself in the foot first. And then he's like, oh, that didn't do it. So he had 3 gunshot wounds. She had 1. He shot her, and then he killed himself. Was it because they wanted it to? They said they're investigating as a murder-suicide. There's notes. Did she write a note saying, it might seem crazy, but I asked him to do this? Because, like I said, they seem really, really fucking happy together. Murder-suicide is, if I can't have you, then nobody can have you. And so that's, I'm guessing it's not merciful, so therefore it was just he couldn't figure it out. Maybe somebody else had some more money that was, outshining him. So he had a competitor in the mix, some other peacock who could actually fix her medical ailments and then, make her his wife, and he just couldn't. Perhaps the fault of, her dying and they couldn't pay for it, so unless we sold everything, because they had property and whatnot. So, yeah, help is always available with a call to 911, says Whatcom County Sheriff Bill Elfo. That's comforting. I mean, he's got to say that, right? It's a tiny community where we all know each other, but we really don't know each other. Some neighbor rushes out to get her, some publicity, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we know each other. We talk about flowers and just, have a bunch of small talk. It's meaningless. So we know each other, but we don't really know each other." And that's actually, I can relate to that. We all know each other, but we don't really know each other because they seemed happy, and then shit, what the fuck happened here? So, William Glasser, he says that happiness is based upon how many options a person has. If people only think they have one option, well, shit. It's the end of the line. Guess you got to do the old murder-suicide. If they only think that there's one option, he's suicidal, right? He's suicidal for whatever reason, and then he convinced her, or maybe she was, and then she, because remember that one woman said to that one boy in Maine, kill yourself, just kill yourself. Pushed him to kill himself. Pushed him to do it. So, you know, women have some power over men, she said, to do it, and then he did it. So if this was one of her wishes, I guess I totally believed that it was one way or the other, that it was merciful or that it was wrong, because it's a horrible tragedy based on medical bills. BernieCare solves this. You know, America, we should have had BernieCare yesterday. You fucking evil, stupid, fucking wicked pieces of shit. If we had BernieCare yesterday, that wouldn't have happened. That gets paid for. You're an American, you're sick, you go to the hospital, you get fixed. So I'm more inclined that it was selfish, so fuck him. What a fucking prick, right? Had no other option, right? There's plenty of options. There's always millions of options. Just sit there and think about it. You know, if you would have talked to somebody, you would have found out that there's options. They could have gone to Canada, could have gone to the United Kingdom. If, like, you know, some rich guy did, you know, take an interest in her, then she could have used that. She didn't have to die, but, you know, since he didn't want to part with her ever, he didn't want to lose her. Or maybe the whole thing was set up. Maybe he shot her, you know, over some bullshit argument and then just made it sound like, yeah, no, the medical bills. It wasn't because she was running her mouth. It was the medical bills. So, yeah, what a horrible tragedy on top of more tragedy. Unfortunately, that is the thing, is they said specifically about Bill. So Bill and Patricia, Brian S. Jones and Patricia Whitney Jones. So Brian S. Jones felt like, you know, that was the only option he had. Well, there's only one way out of this. No other option. Well, neighbors are here. Hear a door slamming. You're gonna be quiet. Oh, listen. So, you know, the pictures look like they loved each other. It could have been a merciful thing. If it was, then thanks, I guess. Medical bills was the problem. The other thing I wanted to mention was how they called back a bunch of times. They used a megaphone, and they used a robot-mounted camera to look inside the home. So the cops were using it as an active shooter, so they were scared. It just seemed like, why not walk up to the door and open it? I don't know. He called, right? He said what was up, what was going on, so he basically was just setting the whole thing up. So in a way, I mean, if it's a merciful thing, then he was being responsible. It wasn't a cry for help, you know. It sounded like we'll be in the front bedroom. And everything else, the megaphones and the calling, if they would have just, you know, treated them as a person, I feel like all that other shit is just more authoritarian shit that was put on top of, you know, a pretty intense situation to begin with. So, R.I.P. Patricia Whitney Jones. Maybe Brian S. Jones, R.I.P. for him too. For 76. So I guess, yeah, I need to know that information for me to understand this situation further. Was it merciful, or was it some selfish bullshit? Either way, R.I.P. Patricia Whitney Jones, and if she did ask for it, you know, R.I.P. Brian S. Jones too. Okie dokie.